Right, YouTube, it is Mr. Mean coming at you on a very sunny, beautiful, balmy 40 degrees Duluth, Minnesota. And as you can see from the screen, we got something good. I had pre-ordered this from Miniature Market. Shameless plug. It just came today. As some of you may know, I was using my plasma donation money as my pocket money to pay for my games and stuff. So that's how I was able to afford this, because you guys hear me bemoan about how poor I am. And thank you for my Patreon subscribers for helping pay for this, but this was plasma donation money. So as you can see, I do have the hard copy. And what was really cool is I've been a huge Warhammer fan for years. Those of you that have followed my channels know I've talked about it fondly many times in the past. And what was nice is I was able to I bought the I pre-ordered it on miniaturemarket.com. Shameless plug. Those guys are great. You get points for every dollar you spend. You get a penny. I know it sounds ridiculous, but believe it or not, it does add up. And it'll usually, after a couple of orders, it'll pay for shipping if they're not offering free shipping. But I ordered this, June? July, maybe? Yeah, I think it was late June I ordered this. Because I haven't done plasma donation in about 2 months now, just because of the way things have worked out. But as you can see, I finally got the physical book. So I had pre-ordered it. Got it for a decent price. Got it for like $44. Yeah, retails for $59.99 according to the ISBN code on the back. So I got it for $44 and I think $45 plus shipping, which was only a couple bucks. And I used my points to pay for the shipping, so it didn't even really cost me the shipping. Amazon had it for a little bit more, but it would have been free shipping, but I was like, well, I can get it for the same price as Amazon with no shipping, or cheaper than Amazon with no shipping, because I used my points. So 6 of one, half dozen the other, and all in the long end, worth it. So what I did what I thought was really cool is I reached out to Cubicle 7, because, even though I bought this from Miniature Market, I had a receipt and everything in my email. And so I'm going to set this off to the side. So I reached out to Miniature Market and I sent them an email through their customer service, and I said, hey, I bought it through Miniature Market. Here's a copy of my receipt. Is there any chance I can get the PDF copy, so I could start enjoying the game? And took a couple days, but sure enough, yeah, I got an email from one of the guys at Cubicle 7, and they were like, sure. They sent me a link to Drive Through RPG for free, and I was able to download it. So I don't know if that's standard practice, or maybe they knew I had a YouTube channel. I reviewed some of their other games, I believe. I don't know. I got so many reviews going now. I don't know. Either way, I think I did mention that I do YouTube reviews, so that might have had something to do with it. But I think, to be honest, I showed them a physical receipt. I showed them the receipt of my purchased copy, and I think they were like, cool. It's really no money out of their pocket, because they sold a copy of the book through their distributor, and they sent me a PDF. So, like I've done with Vampire and a couple of the other books, I think this format works out really well. So what we're going to do is, I've got the PDF copy up on the screen. I've got the physical copy here, but instead of me trying to open up pages and show you the art and everything, and it's clunky, and I hit the mic, and I like this format better. I have a PDF of the copy. It is exactly the same as what's inside here. Let's physically talk about the book, though. I'm going to say, first and foremost, I love it. That cover is awesome. You can see it on the screen there. Harkens back to the original and second edition Warhammer Fantasy. I got into it with somebody on MeWe, which is, if you don't know, MeWe, for me, took the place of Facebook. I was sick of Facebook and all of its crap and its politics and its ads. And someone had pointed out MeWe to me. I think it was one of my Nerds International brothers, so shout out to them. We're all nerds. International. But they had sent me a link, or they had told me about MeWe and said, hey, with Google Plus closing, we're all moving over to MeWe. So I said, sure. So I signed up for MeWe. I really liked it. Shameless plug for MeWe. No ads. If you do, I think I've been on there since July or August. I closed my maybe September. I closed my Facebook account. And then I signed up for MeWe. And I think I've gotten one ad, and it was some lady who had joined MeWe, and she was spamming for some essential oils or something she was selling. And all I did was report her, and it's gone. So it's nice because they don't want that kind of stuff on there. So if you're looking for a replacement for Facebook that is only going to show you the feeds and the people that you select and only join, either for your hobbies or your interest or whatever, check out MeWe. It's pretty solid. So and Mr. Mean is on. I think it's Mr. Mean Speaks or just Mr. Mean is on MeWe. So if you do a MeWe search for Mr. Mean, you can see me. Send me a invite request, and I will add you to the legions of Mr. Mean, or the Meanites, as I like to call them, or my meanies. So anyway, shameless plug for MeWe and for Miniature Market. Great job, these guys. I got the shipping notice Thursday evening. And it showed up today. It was sitting on my doorstep. It was delivered by FedEx Ground. So they did a great job. It was packaged really well. I got to say, it was in a slightly oversized box, and it was wrapped in packing paper on the bottom and the top, and no dings or anything on it. It's in immaculate condition. So stitched in glue binding, of course. It's going to hold up to years and years of use. I have a shelf on the gaming library back there full of Warhammer books from various generations and iterations of it. So this is going to be really nice. One of the things I just noticed, the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay is embossed. Probably, I don't know if there's a way, the camera's not going to pick it up, but yeah. Oh, there it is. Yeah, you can see it. It's embossed. It's actually raised a little bit, so it feels real nice. So it's kind of a nice touch. And then the Grim World of Perilous Adventure is also embossed. So all of that out of the way, let's get the housekeeping out of the way. I'm on Patreon. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. Hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video. This will go out to my Patreons first. They'll get it this afternoon when I upload it. It'll go out to everybody else a Monday or so from now, a week or two later, because I've already got, I think, 1 or 2 videos already in the queue. I try to post a video every Monday. And of course, the Patreons get that video early. And then now that I'm a couple videos in the archive, in the bank, so to speak, I'm still going to only release 1 a week. I did release I believe it was the vampire one I released to everybody. Oh no, it was the D&D one. I did the D&D collector set. I released that to everybody, so that one's not actually in the bank. But I have a Vampire the Masquerade review that's going to be posted on Monday, and you can see that. But if you want to get my reviews early and get access to maybe some giveaways and get exclusive videos with game designers and stuff like that, please join my Patreon. There's 3 different levels: $5, $10, and $15. And whenever they give me copies of the game, I pass them on to you guys. So haven't done any yet because with the new job and everything, life is hectic, and I'm a one-man show. And believe it or not, this is a lot of work to do this, but it's worth it. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing this. So like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Get them to follow me on YouTube and Patreon, all that fun stuff. For my new subscribers, thank you very much. I hope you enjoy your time here, and critiques, criticism, as long as they're constructive, are always welcomed. You can always email me either through YouTube. If you're a Patreon, you can email me through Patreon, or you can hit my personal email, jpolak@gmail.com. That's P-O-L-A-C-K. So housekeeping out of the way, let's dive into Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. This is a long-time favorite. Cubicle 7 took it over, and the first thing they said is they kind of threw a dig out at Fantasy Flight, which I thought was kind of funny, because Fantasy Flight put out their version of Warhammer, and so somebody was like, well, isn't this the 5th edition of Warhammer Fantasy? No. We had the 1st edition and the 2nd edition, which were both done by Games Workshop. We had the 3rd edition that was done by by Green Ronin. And then kind of Black Library kind of did it in conjunction with Green Ronin, and then Green Ronin kind of took it over. Black Library stepped back. Black Library is the publishing house side of Games Workshop. separate division, but same of the whole greater company, if I understand correctly. And then Green Ronin lost the license. I don't know how that happened. I don't know if it came down to a matter of money, and they didn't want to pay. They didn't want to pay Games Workshop or Black Library or whatever, or maybe Games Workshop, got a better bid from Fantasy Flight. I don't know. But Fantasy Flight picked up the license and then put out their version, which true grognards and fans of Warhammer Fantasy don't admit that's not Warhammer. That's just some dark, grim, perilous game that's very similar, but uses funny proprietary dice, and they came out with all these box sets, and it was more of a glorified board game. And I can say that because I actually played it. I was playing in a campaign at my friend's house in Union City when I still lived in Arizona, and I played because of the caliber of the people playing the game. Husband and wife team, awesome people. I did not play because of the ease and or fun of the system. Did not like it. And I actually met them at a game convention over on that side of town, and we just became friends and went from there. But I did not like the mechanics. You had a little player board. Then I think Fantasy Flight realized that the game was kind of going to shit, and so they tried to release a hardback book that was like a player's guide. So it was kind of like this, an actual physical book. They released it. But now the sad part is, and let me say this, the production quality of Fantasy Flight's products, top notch. The game pieces and the little pieces of cardboard and everything were phenomenal. The game production and the quality of the products that they made were top notch. As always, Fantasy Flight always does a great job. It was just, it didn't fit the style of play of Warhammer that like people like me remember from first, second, and even Green Ronin's version. So a lot of us don't consider that Fantasy Flight version to actually be a legitimate version of Warhammer because it was not a pen and paper role-playing game. You had to buy proprietary dice. You had to buy all these box sets. There wasn't a character sheet. You had a cardboard template, and it was just a mess. And like I said, it wasn't my friend. And the sad part is now you can find it in discount bins at most of your local game stores. If you got a decent-sized game store, or you go to like a Barnes & Nobles or a Borders, if they even still exist, or any of the bookstores, and you'll usually see them in the discount bin. So I'm tempted to pick up a copy just for nostalgia and to say I have it, so I could say I own every version of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, because I do. And it would be nice to say that, I physically own that, but I don't. I never bought it. I never bought any of the books. I was tempted because, like I said, the quality of the products were top notch, but it had proprietary dice, and it's kind of like where the Star Wars line went with the proprietary dice. But that's that. So this is, in my opinion, and to my best guess, this is the fourth iteration of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, a grim and perilous adventure. A grim world of perilous adventure. So this is the PDF. I'm not gonna go through the whole thing like before. I mean, I want you guys to go buy it. I want you to experience it for yourself. But I'm gonna say the PDF and the physical book are laid out awesome. I like where they went with this, because one of the first things Cubicle 7 said is, we are going to stay true to first and second edition. They don't even mention Green Ronin's version, which I think is kind of, in a way, kind of cool. Not saying that it was bad, because I have fond memories of Green Ronin, and I have almost all of the books for Green Ronin's version of Warhammer, and it's still to this day a very playable game. So if you're not sure about Warhammer Fantasy, and I would say you want to buy a playable version of the game, obviously don't even look at Fantasy Flights, because it's not even supported anymore. You can't buy it. If you go on Green Ronin's website, you can download, or Drive Through RPG, you can get all of the PDFs. They're still readily available, and you can still find a lot of the books. You can even buy them from Green Ronin. Warhammer First Edition and Second Edition. First Edition is really hard to come by. You might find it as a PDF. Second Edition is definitely, you can find it as a PDF. There were two versions of the Second Edition. There was the GW version that they put out, and then there was a revised Second Edition, which I am not sure a lot of people know about, and that was actually produced by Hogshead Publishing, which was a British company as well, and they put out a number of like splat books. They did the Dwarves book, they did the Middenheim book, they did the Elves book, and these were all soft cover books, maybe 100, 120, 140 pages, maybe slightly more, but black and white art. And they were really well done. Lots of great information in there. Strike to Stun is striketostun.com, I believe, is still going as a website, so you can go there and maybe find links to some stuff. A lot of fan stuff. This game has been around almost as long as D&D. This is England's version of D&D, or the European version. Germany has the Dark Eye. Sweden has Symbaroum and those games, but those are relatively new. America, of course, has Dungeons and Dragons, and England has Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. It's just, that's how it works out. So, and it's a phenomenal game, percentage-based game. Fantastic art in here, and we'll go through it a little bit. But here's your character creation is really well done. One of the things they do, they don't come out and say it, but it's pretty much, it is assumed that if you pick your choices, you're a pussy. Mr. Mean is saying it right now. You're a pussy. The dice were meant, the realms of chaos is influenced in the material plane, and you should roll the dice and you take what you get. Now, if you do that, the gods are good, and they give you extra experience points. So every step of character creation, you can get extra experience points. Now, if you roll the dice, you get the experience points. But what they do in here is kind of cool. There's three options. You can roll the dice and take what you get, as it's intended by the gods. You can roll the dice 2 or 3 times and choose. You get less experience points, or you can pick and you get nothing because, again, you're a pussy. That's just Mr. Mean's opinion, and if it offends you, I'm sorry, but I'm called Mr. Mean for a reason. There's a great character creation kind of walkthrough from Adam Cobell that he gets ready, because he runs I think it's a 2 or a 3 session game with some of his friends, and it's totally worth a watch. It's a lot of fun, but he makes a character. And he goes through it, and that's where I got the "you're a pussy" because he said it. If I think about it, I'll try to put a link to it in the doobly-doo, but that's Adam Cobell's site, and I really don't want to push people from my site to his site. But you guys can verbally hear about it and go look at it. You just do a search for Skinny Ghost on Twitch, and you'll find him. He's a great podcaster or video YouTuber. And I like watching his stuff. He's a really good GM, and he makes one of my favorite games, which is Dungeon World. But neither here nor there. This is what we get. So you roll the dice, or you roll the dice a couple times, make a choice, or you pick, and you're a wuss. But the book is broken down. One of the things I don't like, which I was really impressed with, Esper Genesis. That's the other review coming down the pipeline. Esper Genesis, this is all hyperlinked. And I think that in this day and age, there's no excuse, with technology being what it is, that we can't have this hyperlinked. So this copy is not hyperlinked. I don't know if they have one out now that is. I got this shortly after it was released on PDF from Cubicle 7 via DriveThruRPG. So there's a starting adventure in here. There is monsters. I believe you can also download an adventure off of their website. But I'm telling you right now, this is an awesome book. It's very well done. What to do between adventures. They add some new rules. They've taken some stuff out. They give you almost like a momentum feature when you're winning combat or you're winning a skill test. You get advances, and then those advances help. Like I said, I'm not going to do a rules breakdown because it's not the focus of this video. It's just to kind of go through the PDF and look at what we got. But we've got, the Game Master section. We've got the Glorious Reichland, which the game, if you buy the PDF, it comes with a poster. I don't know if there's one in the book. Let's see. No, there doesn't appear to be a poster in the book. That's kind of a bummer. Would have liked to have seen a poster. But yeah, the color in the book is so vibrant, and the PDF, it comes through pretty well, but there's a difference of looking at stuff with your naked eye versus, on a computer screen. And I literally just got this in the mail today. So when I came back from running my errands this morning, it was sitting on my doorstep. So using the book, what's next, your Warhammer, they're very, very big to say, this is your game, use it, do what you want with it, and go from there. And I like that. I like that one. The art, again, Mr. Mean is pretty fanatical about his art. I like it to have a theme. I like the art to flow, and I like the artist to stay similar. I don't like games, and this is just my personal take. Take it for what it's worth. I like it when the game gives you a feel, and this first chapter here is pretty much just all verbiage from the point of view of actual in-game characters. It's personalities in the game, NPCs. There's a troll slayer. I'm curious if he's taking a whiz or if he's just standing there. I'm not sure which one he's doing, because his hand like that kind of looks like he might be shaking a snake, if you know what I mean. But a lot of good, very dark art, very go home. I love it. Just very well written. I didn't notice a whole lot of spelling errors. In fact, I don't think I noticed any spelling errors. That doesn't say there isn't any, because I was reading the PDF, and the physical book sometimes varies. But the art has definitely got that dark, gritty feel to it. And they do a great job of setting the tone. I love, they're keeping all the skulls, which is, it's part of the Imperium of Man. Just look. It just, obviously it looks like some sort of witch hunter. A follower of Sigmar. Obviously, you can see the hammer and the twin comet. Follower of Moor, the purples, troll slayer. Just art is really well done, and they carry these characters throughout the theme, and it's very well done. They talk about money. They talk about, just gives you a very feel of. And this, they've centered it this time, whereas earlier versions of Warhammer kind of tried to cover the whole world. They're focusing on the Reichland right here, so you're not going to get a whole lot of information on other parts of the realm. You're just going to get a lot of information on the Reichland, which I think is phenomenal. And hey, it's called Splat Books. Give us something else to buy, because I've got the physical book now. I want the next book in the line. Who knows what that'll be? Cubicle 7 hasn't really said anything. And then we go into our, so when we're done with all this, I love the seals and everything. More skulls, the art, these coppers and these brass colors. Very dark, the art on the page border, it very much conveys the theme of this is a dark, gritty world, and I like that. So it goes through character creation. It's everything we need. We're gonna pop this open right here so we can kind of jump ahead. But look, there's humans, the opinions on everybody else, which I really like. Female dwarf blacksmith, which I think is awesome. So we go through all the races, halflings, elves, and the art, a little on the cartoony side, but the nice part of it is it really gives you that feeling of we're elves, we're better than you. You can just, the way they're bearing and the way he's looking, obviously this is some sort of mage. And then this is some, who knows, a warrior of some kind. Could also be a mage. Wood elves, not so much I'm better than you, but stay the hell out of my woods, which is definitely the theme. And then your classes and your careers. And again, everything's random by the chart. You roll. So you pick or you roll. So say default, mostly you will be a human. The chances of being an elf are slim to none. I believe there's a supplement out that adds ogres, so you can play an ogre, but I don't have it. But I believe there is a web-based PDF that you can download. I should go look. If you guys know, put notes in the doobly-doo down below. But yeah, you'd roll, a 1d4, and that'll tell you what your class is, and then your class breaks down into careers, and then based on, human, dwarf, halfling, high elf, wood elf, your chances. So like a wood elf has no shot in hell of being an apothecary. they get, out of the first set of academics career, they can be a scholar. That's their only option. So if you roll a 1 and you were lucky enough to get a wood elf, and you roll your class and you get academic, already your only option is a scholar. That's it. Oh, a scholar or a wizard. I'm sorry. That's it. That's your only 2 options. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. Same thing for burgers. I mean, you can be an artisan, and that's it. You can be an artisan. That's it. That's your only option. So it's kind of neat how they do it. There's no 2 characters are going to be exactly the same. And then, you go through it and you pick everything. I'm just going to try to, the art is awesome. Really well done. I'm trying to find another page of the art. Give this a little, I don't know why my computer is chugging so hard. I mean, this is a pretty herky computer, but for some reason, it could be because I'm streaming and I've got a PDF open and the camera. Here's definitely some. Look at that. I mean, nice coach ride. Obviously riding through somewhere that's not nice. But full color. The book has got the color in it as well. Most of the art's somewhat muted, but still really well done. Splashes of color here and there. You pick your career, you have a number of picks that you have to get, you have a number of trappings, so it's still the same Warhammer that we know. They've sped it up. I don't know how to say it. Making a character, I made 2 or 3 characters at work one day, at my old job, just because I was bored and had nothing to do, and at the EPA, and I think I whipped out a character in about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and that was flipping back and forth through the PDF, so that even adds more time. I think once you know the process, and if you do the truly random, you can zip right through this. I mean, it's going to go fast. Lots of new talents. Talents are limited by your race and your career, so there's some talents you just can't get. But, I mean, the art is just solid. They've done a really good job. And these are cool. You have brass, silver, and gold are your career path levels. So brass, obviously, is entry level. So brass is anything with the little square on it. Gold is the shield, I believe. No, that's silver. That's brass. And these are initial picks you get when you take that path. Yeah, see the little plus symbol, Apothecary's Apprentice, brass 3. He gets 3 of them, and then you choose these skills. So there's a bunch of choices you have to make, and it's, like I said, no 2 characters are going to be the same. And it's just cool stuff. I mean, the art, I think they nailed it. They just nailed the art. I love the colors. There's nothing too flamboyant. There's nothing too dark. You still get the sense that, man, this is a shitty world. You don't want to live in it. Look at that nun. That is amazing. I mean, look, she's just covered in blood in her hands, and all the fucking hooks and saws and giant scissors, just definitely, you don't want to go see the surgeon. It's bad. Look, just getting ready to sew his head off, it's a physician. So, I mean, just neat art, laid out really well. This is one of my favorite pictures, the Priest of Sigmar. I just like it. He's barefoot. His robes are tattered, and he's just preaching, the holy ordinance of Sigmar. The scholar, paper everywhere. So these are all the careers you can choose. There's your wizard, which I think that's a phenomenal picture for the wizard. And it just tells you what you get, But your chances of being a wizard are slim to none. Because if you're doing the random method, but you could choose or let your players roll 3 times and choose the best one out of the 3. And like I said, at the end of character creation, all those points that you banked up, if you did the game as a random choice, those points help you flesh out your character. So if someone picks everything, they don't get any extra experience points, or they may get a lot less experience points. So their character is not going to be as developed as the character who does the complete random, because at the end, I think it totals out to 150 experience points. You're going to have an extra 150 experience points to buy stuff. It's not going to get you a whole lot, but it's going to get you more than what that guy that chooses everything is going to get. So you may have, I don't think you can get a talent, because I think a new talent is like 300 experience points or something like that. But you'll be able to up a couple stats, and up a couple skills, by 10% or 1%, depending on the skill. So it's pretty awesome. Beggar, and I believe rat catchers are still in the game. We'll see. We'll get down to the back of the book. Yep, there it is, rat catcher. I mean, you can't have Warhammer without a rat catcher. So there you go. And you get your starting cash, you get your trappings. Trappings are the things you start with. When you go into an advanced career, those are the things you have to get in order to advance into that career. So he's going to start with a sling with ammunition, a sack, small but vicious dog. Yeah, and there's the dog. The dog has a fucking patch on its eye. That's how dark this world is. The dog lost an eye. But if I wanted to go into Rat Catcher 2 or Silver 1, basically, I have to buy an animal trap or come across one, and I have to have a pole for dead rats. So obviously, rat catcher is probably the cheapest career to go into, but as you can see, you have to get it. And then, of course, to be a Silver 2, a sewer jack, you have to have a Davrich lantern, a hand weapon, and a leather jack. Let me tell you one of the things I like about this game. The weapons are fucking expensive. You don't start with a lot of money. I mean, some of the careers do. Obviously, if you choose a noble or you choose a merchant, you're going to have some decent money. But for the most part, you're broke. And that's the point of being an adventurer, is you're tired of living that shitty life and trudging through the ditches, and you want to make a better way for yourself. So you strap on your grandfather's sword or a dagger, a pair of scissors, whatever you can get, and you go out into the world to try to make a name for yourself. And this game really sets it up and supports it that way. So it's pretty cool in that aspect. So, we've got our rat catcher, which is awesome. I mean, you can't go wrong. A watchman. Very grizzled veteran right there, I mean, it's pretty cool. And then you have your advanced careers, and this is the advisor. So, and same thing, you have to progress through these careers in order to get into these higher careers. You have to spend a bunch of gold. So it's very much laid out in that there is a career path for you. You can switch careers if you're being an artist and you decide you want to go wizard. You pay some money, you find a teacher. They have downtime activities in the game as well, which I think they might have maybe borrowed from like Conan, An Age Undreamed Of, from Modiphius. I wouldn't be surprised. I have not read the downtime activities. It's one of the things. I got so much on my plate to read right now. I got the new Vampire. I got the new Esper Genesis, which I'm really down for. And, of course, now I've got the physical copy of Warhammer. I don't like reading PDFs on a screen. It bothers my eyes after a certain amount of time. But now I've got the physical book. So I guarantee tonight, after the kid goes to bed, I'm going to curl up and read it. So let's jump ahead here a little bit. Let's get down to the Bestiary and see the critters. Holy sites. Mor is one of my favorite gods in the Warhammer world. He's the god of the dead, and his bane is undead and stuff like that. So spells, casting numbers, and everything still kind of work the same way. A little bit different, but it's very cool. We're not going to go too deep into it. I want to find the monsters. I think we're getting close to it. Of course, I could have went and looked in the index. Fully indexed, full table of contents. Yeah, these are all weapons and stuff. Let's see if we can get down here to the critter, because it does have a decent bestiary in it. Yeah, here we go. Fen Beast. The art is phenomenal. I'm hoping they'll do a bestiary like Green Ronin did. There's your dragon. I mean, look at this, 65 weapon skill. And this is a base dragon. This is not even adding anything into it. Fen Beast, big swamp beast. Famir, make another presence, which is awesome. Giants. I mean, just awesome. And this is not, of course, a full bestiary. This is just enough to get you going. I'm sure they're going to add a bunch of stuff to manticores, pegasi, just, trolls. I mean, that's awesome. Reminds me of a river troll from Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. A little information on the different types of trolls, wyverns, greenskins. Of course, orcs being the main antagonist, aside from the ruinous powers of chaos and your bandits, orcs are the next, the next best thing to to throw at your players, and they do a great job of making them look like the Warhammer Fantasy orcs, Ard boys, and goblins, snotlings with their mushrooms. Of course, we got our undead. So all kinds of zombies. I mean, just great art. They've done a really great dire wolves. I mean, guys, do yourself a favor. Just go buy the damn book. It's if you have even a slight inkling of interest in the Warhammer world, this is a great way to. If you've never played Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, this is probably, as far as production goes, and I will say the rules, from what I've read, it's probably one of the best ways to go. I mean, a Green Ronin, I'm a huge fan of. Second edition Warhammer, I'm a huge fan of. I have all the books. Warhammer First Edition was awesome. Its magic system was kind of clunky. They cleaned it up a little bit in Second Edition, but it's even better here. And this is made for a little bit faster play. You're not going to slow down like you did in Second Edition. I thought Green Ronin's version was phenomenal, and like I said, it is still playable to this day. But this is even a better version. But I would not be upset if someone said, hey, we're going to play Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. We're going to use Green Ronin's rules. I'm like, okay, I've got all the books. I'm good. I still have a character pad full of, blank character sheets for Green Ronin's version. So I would be down for that. I have the GM screen. I have everything I need to run the game and or play. So I would be down for either one. But I am really looking forward to what Cubicle 7 does with all of this. Beastmen, Minotaurs, and then of course all your cultist and your ruinous powers, Chaos Warrior. Look at that, fucking Nurgle, baby. That's the way to go. I'm a huge Nurgle fan for Warhammer Fantasy miniatures game. Demonettes of Slaanesh. I'm a little bummed we don't see a boobie right there, because typically the Demonettes of Slaanesh have a titty hanging out. And they're vaguely feminine. This looks a little more manly, but there is a boob there. Of course, they've got, and I understand why they did it. They don't want to piss people off, but every other version of Warhammer's had a titty hanging out right there. So maybe Green Ronin's version didn't. I don't know. I'd have to go back and check. If somebody knows, put a note down in the doobly-doo. But Demon Princes, Ratmen, they go in. So, of course, underneath the city, you've got your Skaven, and they're in here. So there's enough of a bestiary to get you going until they decide to put out a full core, monster manual, so to speak, or bestiary. And then all the powers that your critters have and everything is just, look at that. Oh, big Nurgle come to rot. Not good. Run. Let's see, what else do we got? And then, of course, our character sheet. I went too far. Full table of contents, which is always good. Again, would like to have seen it hyperlinked, clickable. But it's okay. Here's a character sheet. We still got our silhouette for our armor and everything. Character sheet, as far as I'm concerned, is pretty simple. I like it. It's a little bit easier. Even the Green Ronin one, which was very similar, left a little bit to be desired. And there were a number of aftermarket sheets that you could get. We got our movement. We still got our fate points. Resilience is something new. And, of course, your experience. And then your basic skills. And then your group and advanced skills. So as a starting character, you're not going to get too many of these. But you'll get a bunch of these. And then, of course, the spot for your talents, your ambitions, which you want to... That's another new thing they've added. You want a short-term and a long-term. And then your party members. And their... stuff that if they choose to tell you, which I thought was really cool, because again, they want you to role play, they want you to be immersed in what's going on. So they did a really good job there. And then of course the second sheet is our trappings, corruption and mutation, wealth, encumbrance, wounds, and all that fun stuff. And then of course we go into the very end of the book. So there you go, guys. The verdict from Mr. Mean is buy the damn book. It's that simple. This is a great game. I want to see. Okay, it's on there. It looked like a Grim World of Perilous Adventure wasn't on there. So this is just phenomenal. I mean, the layout of the book is great. It's clear. It's concise. It reads really well. Like I said, I picked up the PDF as soon as it became available, or after I had pre-ordered the book. And when I got the PDF, I immediately started making characters and had no problems. I didn't have to flip back and go, what the hell are they talking about? They go through a process. They tell you how to do it. It's cut and dry. You can put this PDF in front of your friends, or you could just print out that section of the PDF on how to make a character, give everybody a copy of it, and then, keep their grubby hands off your core book, like I like to do, and print a copy of this. It's going to chew through a toner, though, let me tell you, because of the color in it. But hopefully they'll put out a black and white printer-friendly version in the future. I don't know. But I'm a firm believer in PDFs at the table, because it just makes it easy. Everybody put it on a tablet. Everybody's got iPads or Android tablets now, so it's usually not a problem. Even on your phone, if you've got good eyes, you can do it on your phone. So it's a win-win. Order the book, buy it, live it, love it, like it. It's totally worth it. That's Mr. Mean's thoughts on Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th Edition. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I've enjoyed making this video, because this is an awesome game, and I know I have gamer ADD, and it's the next game. I want to run it. I want to play it, and I just can't always get people to go. But this is definitely one I would want to play. And if you're online and you want to play on Fantasy Ground, or you want to just get on Discord and let's make characters, hit me up. There'll be a link to my Discord channel down in the doobly-doo and all that fun stuff. So as always, guys, peace and hair grease. And remember, Mr. Mean says, be nice.